Utah is getting an NHL team next season, and the Arizona Coyotes have played their final game. But it's not the straightforward franchise relocation you might be expecting. This is an Icethetics Flash Report for April 19th. I'm Chris, and thanks for watching. Not long after the first reports that the Arizona Coyotes were playing in their final season, it all became official. On Thursday afternoon, the NHL announced its Board of Governors had approved a plan to establish a new franchise in Salt Lake City, Utah. Ryan and Ashley Smith, owners of the NBA's Utah Jazz, will head up the new club. But it's not really an expansion team. The Arizona Coyotes franchise has been declared inactive. Former owner Alex Morello has the right to reactivate the Coyotes if he can get a proper arena built by 2029. That means the Arizona Coyotes branding stays with him in Arizona for now. However, all of the Coyotes hockey operations will now transfer to the new Utah franchise. That includes executives, coaches, players, draft picks, and so on. Now that might leave you wondering, if the new team will not be the Coyotes, what will they be? Ryan Smith says he's not sure yet and doesn't want to rush the brand creation process, and the league is on board with his plan, having enlisted New York-based agency Doubleday and Cartwright to help develop the new team identity. For what it's worth, this studio has done a lot of work in sports, but nothing in the NHL that I can pinpoint. So Smith is not sure a name or logo will be ready for next fall when his team hits the ice. However, one thing he does know, the team will be named for Utah as opposed to Salt Lake City. So he was willing to say that Utah will be on the front of the uniforms at the very least. Does that mean we'll get a repeat of the Dallas Stars' original Reebok Edge jerseys under Fanatics next season? Man, I hope not. Given how long we've known the NHL has been in talks with Smith Entertainment Group, I have to think brand development work has been going on behind the scenes for quite some time. I'd almost consider it irresponsible if it hasn't been. In fact, we can look at the Coyotes franchise itself as an example of this. While the team didn't relocate from Winnipeg until 1996, the Kachina logo design was basically done in 1994, as we can see from this dated concept art. Which is to say, Smith and the NHL could be attempting to simply lower expectations. We'll all be a bit more surprised if we think no name or logo is coming right away. But there is a more recent precedent for a quick rebrand after a relocation. 13 years ago, the Atlanta Thrashers left for Winnipeg. Here's how that timeline played out. On May 31st, 2011, the official announcement that the team was being sold and moved. 24 days later, June 24th, standing on stage at the 2011 NHL Draft, True North chairman Mark Chipman officially announced the new name to wild applause.
On behalf of the Winnipeg Jets.
Then on July 22nd, only 28 days after the draft, the logo was revealed. And while some have at times expressed disappointment with the design and the rush to get it done, the fact is they still use it after 13 years. Finally, just a couple of weeks before training camp, we got our first official look at the uniforms. That was September 6th, meaning the time from the sale of the team to the jersey release was just 98 days. Smith may actually have extra time because his sale was announced 6 weeks earlier than the Atlanta-Winnipeg deal. On the other hand, he doesn't have the same built-in brand recognition as the Winnipeg Jets. All of that is to say, I would be a little surprised if the 24-25 season opens with a franchise simply called the Utah Hockey Team. For some possible insights, we can look to Clark Rasmussen of DetroitHockey.net, who was the first to report on applications filed with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. He found 5 team names that could be associated with the new franchise, but could not confirm due to the anonymous nature of these filings. Nothing stands out as particularly interesting. Blizzard would share the double Z of the Jazz for some brand alignment. Utah Venom and Utah Fury might be a little too 90s. And the only other filings were Utah HC and Utah Hockey Club. But we'll see. Smith has talked more about team branding than other prospective owners, so given that it's more important to him, he really may take more time with it and delay the rollout of a full brand until possibly the summer of 2025. For what it's worth, the PWHL launched this season with the same idea. Rather than rushing into names and logos, all 6 teams were branded with unique colors and their location written across otherwise generic jerseys. Meanwhile, ESPN's Greg Wyshynski reported that team colors could be announced as early as next week, which would confirm my suspicion that brand development has long been in the works. All right, setting all of that aside, I do have to express my sympathy for Coyotes fans. Watching their final game on Wednesday night was truly heartbreaking. No fan base deserves to be treated the way they've been. But the good news is, this is not the end of the line. The NHL will certainly be back in Phoenix, whether it's with Morello in the next 5 years or someone else beyond that time. But to that end, the Coyotes brand was a great one, and I'm currently working on a video celebrating its history. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see that in the coming days. It should be a good one. And that's all for now. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out if you don't mind. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.